Where did I put my glasses? Oh no, I left them. Okay, we'll start standing. Feet comfortably under the hips, toes pointed forward. Finding our nice long spine, letting our shoulders relax, lifting the heart, letting the tailbone drop. Right, so we feel tall, we feel aligned. Lift all the toes and spread them back down. And then lift all the toes and see if you can just lower your pinky toes and then your next toe, your next toe, big toe. Lift your big toes, lift your second toes, your third toes, your fourth toes, your pinky toes. And one more time, putting the pinky toes down, and then the next toe, the next toe, the next toe, the big toe. Great. And then we'll let our body weight shift a little forward, lift our heels up off the ground. So kind of floating up on the inhale and back down on our exhale. If you want, you can bring your arms into it, but you want to really take some nice full breaths as we inhale up and exhale down. So kind of just grounding and centering here. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Good. Inhale, lift a little higher. And exhale down. One more time. See if you can get all the way up there. And let the heels come down. Let your weight shift to one leg. Float your other knee up in front. Your arms can help you if you'd like. Focus on a point if you'd like. Hold. Some days balance is a little bit tricky. Today's one of those days. All right, and then lower that leg, shift your weight, and lift your other knee up in front and hold. Staying tall. You can always hold on to something, right? Good, and lower down. I'd rather you do it and hold on to something. All right, so we're gonna roll our shoulders back, nice big circles. And then we'll bring our elbow into it. And I'll loosen up our shoulder joint. I'm getting some cracking here. And then we'll bring our arm into it. Nice big backstroke, but you can bend your elbow if you need to. And adding a little bit of a rotation, following that arm back. Right, so just turning and a little bit of a rotation with our backstroke here. And then coming back to center, we're going to circle the shoulders forward. So up, forward, and down, back, up, forward, and down. Yeah. And then bringing the elbow into it. Breathe. And then the whole arm. If you need to bend the elbow, of course, feel free to do that. Forward stroke. And then just adding a little rotation. So the arm that's behind us will just turn that direction, right? Breathing. And then facing forward again. Keep the arms going and see if you can float the opposite leg up. The arm that comes forward. I'll see if I can do it, but not gracefully on that side. So see if you can kind of smoothly lift the knee as that arm comes forward. I'm just working at it. My leg, my standing leg with the hurt ankle is getting stronger. Good. And if you want, you feel like you can add a rotation to that, go ahead and take a little turn as you lift the knee. All right, and then we'll bring our arms down, our legs down, maybe give them a little shake, and we'll come to the end of our mat or wherever you want to be. Roll down. So inhaling here, letting our Head and shoulders and arms relax as we roll down and hang. You might bend and straighten the knees. And then letting our knees be as bent as they need to stack ourselves back up. Relaxing the arms, the shoulders as we stack back up. Feeling a little stretch in our back, and then we'll roll down again. Inhale, exhale, roll back down. And hang. Feel free to bend, straighten the knees. Then walking our hands away from our feet, come into pike or down dog. Fingers spread wide. Little bend in the knees and lifting the tailbone. Let your weight shift around as you press your heels into the mat, kind of work your heels down. You might like to rock your body a little forward and back. Weight shift, whatever feels good to you. You might like to lift and lower the heels and kind of move forward and back like that, or bend and straighten the knees. And then we'll make a little more space between our hands and our feet to come into either a high plank, regular plank, half plank, any of those variations. Take some deep breaths. And then we might want to slowly lower our body down to the mat, or bring your knees down to the mat and come around to sitting. And then we'll come onto our back. So kind of lengthen your spine down and bring your feet in toward the hips. Great. Good. And just taking a nice deep breath here as we relax. Let your spine relax. And then as we exhale, we feel our low back pressing into the mat. We curl our tailbone up and peel off of the mat here into our bridge. At the top of our bridge, relaxing our shoulders as we maybe adjust the feet, press the hips up. Good. Take a breath here. Good. Next exhale, just letting the spine melt down. Hips come down last. And then relaxing as you inhale. Exhaling up again, peel off the mat. And at the top of our bridge, pressing our right hip up, letting our left hip drop just about an inch or so. We exhale down the left side of the spine, holding the legs nice and still. And then we relax back to center as we inhale, exhale up the center again, peel on up. And at the top, we press our left hip up, let our right hip drop just a little bit, and we exhale down the right side of the spine, right? So just a little tilt. Good. And then when we come down, we relax and go up the center again on our exhale. Peel up. Good. And then we're going to just keep our hips pressing up as we exhale down. Melt the spine all the way. And then when your hips come down, opening the knees, letting the knees open with your feet together, and maybe kind of pressing the sacrum into the ground a little bit. Let your hips relax. And then we'll just press our hips a little bit off the mat here, inch or two. Just hover. And lower back down. Let your hips and legs relax. Then we're going to sweep our arms over our head. Knees are going to stay open. And you're just going to do a little stretch away from your torso with your arms. Reach and let the elbows bend. Clasp the hands behind the head. Good. Inhale. As you exhale, press the head and shoulders up. Inhale, lie back down. And exhale, press up. Try to keep your legs and hips relaxed here. Inhale, lie back down. Exhale, press up. Inhale, down. And exhale, press up. And you're going to stay up. Just lift it off the mat a little bit. Do a little side bend. So left elbow reaches toward left knee and back to center. Right elbow reaches toward right knee as you side bend to the right and back to center. Just hovering off the mat. Side bend to the left and center. Side bend to the right and center. A couple more. Side bend to the left. Good. And one more. Great. Come back to center. Lower your head down to the mat. And then we're going to lift the knees up and let them sway over to one side and relax. Your legs might be more apart or whatever feels comfortable to you, together or apart, doesn't matter. And then we'll sway them the other way. And a couple more sways, just letting your back relax, keeping your hands clasped behind the head. Good. And then with our knees at the top, make sure your feet are in line with your sits bones here. We're going to inhale. As we exhale, we're going to press up and let our left leg slide straight down the mat. Good. Stay up as you flex your foot. Slide that foot back in and then lie back down. So inhale, exhale, press up as you slide your right leg down the mat. Flex the foot, slide it back in and lay back down. Good. Inhale, exhale, press up, slide the left leg again. Flex the foot, slide it back in. Exhale down. Deep breath, exhaling up, the right leg slides down. Flex the foot, slide that foot in, and lie back down. Now we're going to add to this. Inhale, exhale as you come up and slide your left leg down the mat. You're going to flex the foot, reach your arms past your legs, lift a little higher. Stay up as you slide that foot back, hands behind the head, and lay back down. Inhale here. Exhale up as you slide your right leg down the mat. Flex the foot, reaching past your legs, lifting a little higher. Good. Slide that foot in. Hands behind the head, and then lay back down. A good deep breath here. Exhale as you slide your left leg again. Reach your arms as you flex your foot. Now lift that leg up so it's next to your right leg. Right leg, knees lined up, and then lower it down. Slide it in. Hands behind the head, and exhale down. Good. Nice deep breath. Exhale up. Right leg slides down as you flex the foot. Reach your arms, lift a little higher. Lift that leg. Lower it. Slide it back in. Hands behind the head. And lie back down. Nice deep breath. Keep going. Exhale up and slide that left leg. Flex the foot. Reach your arms. Lift that leg up, lower it down, slide it in, hands behind the head, lie back down. We're going to do one more. Good. Exhale up as you slide your right leg, flex the foot, reach your arms, lifting, lift that leg, knees line up, lower, slide the foot in, hands behind the head, and lay back down. Ah, okay. So lift one leg up into tabletop, other leg up into tabletop. Inhale here. As you exhale, press your head and shoulders up a little bit. Cross your ankles, relax your legs up here. And inhale. As we exhale, we're going to try to bring our knees towards our head without using the leg muscles, just the low belly muscles, right? On your exhale, just do a little lifting of that tailbone. Holding the head and shoulders steady. Good. I think we're waking up now. Hang in there. Good. Using your exhale, using your low belly to lift. Okay, and then last one, relaxing down. Hug your knees and relax your body. Rock around. Ah, yes. So we're going to bring our legs back into the tabletop position and reach your arms to the ceiling. Really let your shoulders feel heavy on the mat because you're going to need that weight, right? And we're going to open our left leg out toward the ground, out to the side on our inhale. Good. And then exhale it back up, using your breath to lift it up. And then inhale as you open your right leg out to the side. And exhale it up. And again, two more. Opening that left knee down toward the ground. And exhale it back. And opening the right leg out to the side. And exhale it back. Now bring your legs together in tabletop and see if you can bring both legs to the left. Of course, it's going to be a lot harder. Our arms are off the ground, so be careful. And exhale back. Really have to use your obliques and your breath. Okay, inhale to the right, anchoring those shoulders down, and exhale back. Really use your breath. Inhale to the left, and exhale back. Maybe squeeze the legs together. Inhale to the right, and exhale back. Good. Now stay here. Let your arms float down to the ground. Option, straighten the legs. You don't have to. And now take them to the left, anchoring our shoulders, and exhale back up to the top. And take them to the right, anchoring our shoulder, exhale back. And again to the left. Two more. Exhale back. And one more time to the right. Good. And exhale back to the top. Good. Now legs are up to the ceiling. If you can, straighten your legs. Now the knees can be slightly bent because your legs may not be straight. Clasp your hands behind the head. Press your head and shoulders up a little bit off the ground. And we're just going to reach that left leg down toward the ground. It doesn't have to go all the way. And exhale it back up. We're going to reach that right leg down toward the ground. And exhale it back. And the left leg stretches down. And exhale back. One more time, the right leg stretches down. And exhale back to the top. Good. And then relax your head down. Let your legs relax and grab hold of your feet with your knees open. Happy baby style. Rock your body. Let your body just kind of move around. Side to side, whatever feels good. Pull your knees down toward the ground. And then maybe straightening our legs into a straddle as much as they will in this position. Just kind of opening our hip a little more. And then bring your feet together. See if you can bring the soles of your feet together with your knees open. May or may not be possible. Really opening up the hips, maybe pressing your elbows into your knees. And then we'll hold on to our left foot, stretch our right arm and leg on the ground, flexing a foot, reaching through that side. And then bring the right side together. We'll stretch our left arm and leg on the ground, reaching through our heel, reaching through our arm, keeping our knee open. And then both arms and both legs, little side to side stretch. So reaching through one side and reaching through the other. We feel our hips and shoulders shifting up and down. And then relax. Open the legs a little wider, arms into a wide V, feet flexed. Take one arm over to the other and stretch for that hand, reaching across the body. And that spiral. And then let our arms slide back open and we'll take it to the other side. Reaching. Good. And back open, maybe two more. See if we can get a little farther even as we have that diagonal line from our fingers to our foot. Okay, and back. Good. And then when you come back onto your back, you can bring your legs together, sweep your arms down. You might want to grab one leg or you might want to slip your hands under your low back, roll up, or you can roll up successfully without doing that. Okay, so we're going to take a little stretch over our legs by lifting our sits bones with our legs out in front, bringing our pelvis forward, relaxing forward over your legs. Then open your legs into a straddle, however wide you want them to be, doesn't matter. Hands in between the legs. And we're going to just slide our hands out in front of us. And slide them back in, stacking back up. Just a couple more times, slide those hands out. Opening the hips a bit here, getting a little stretch. And slide them back in as you stretch. Back the spine. Again. Good. And next time we come back up to sitting, we can stay there, bring the legs back in line with your hips and bend the knees a little. Actually, keep your legs straight. What we'll do is whatever leg is facing the screen, you're going to start by holding that leg under your thigh, lifting tall as we inhale. And then as we exhale, we're going to curl the tailbone under, round back just to the rib cage or the shoulder blades and pull that knee in as we stretch our other leg away from this leg. Inhale. On our exhale, pressing leg into hands, roll back up. So gracefully, we're going for smoothness. And your back leg, pull it in as you inhale tall, exhale, curl the tailbone, rounding back to your rib cage, or stretch those legs away from each other, inhaling, exhaling back up. Okay, so again, grab hold as you lift tall, exhale, curl under as you go back, shoulders relaxed, stretch the legs away from each other, inhaling, exhaling, pressing into the hands to come back up. Yeah, and then deep breath, lifting tall, exhaling back. Practice for smoothness, right? Pull the legs away from each other as we inhale and exhale up. Now reaching our arms forward, we're going to draw that foot in, whichever leg you're on, bending the knee, and this same side elbow back as we follow it. Try to keep the other side nice and straight as you twist, and then stay here, reach arm and leg forward, and exhale back up. And then the other arm and other leg, slide that foot in, follow your elbow back, reach arm and leg forward, and exhale up. See if you can go back a little farther, maybe on this one, maybe not, as you slide that foot in a little tiny bit further, and then reach forward and exhale up. I know it's hard. One more. Okay, slide that foot in, follow your elbow back, close to your body, okay? A little farther, and then reach arm and leg, and exhale up. Okay. So we're going to inhale tall. You might bend your knees. Exhale, round back all the way. Take your arms over your head. Feel free to let your knees bend and straighten as they want. Sweep your arms around as you inhale and roll back up on your exhale. Stretch over the legs. So we'll just do a couple more regular roll-ups, and you can let your knees bend and straighten, or whatever you prefer. Arms are going to go back. We're going to sweep around as we inhale and exhale up. See if we can still carry that same smooth inhale, that same smooth action or movement that we had going on, right? And then arms go overhead, sweep around as we inhale and exhale up. Good. And when you come to the top, just take a little stretch over your legs. And then we're going to pick up our right leg. If you want to use a strap or a band around your foot, you can grab that. Or if you want to just use your hands, you're going to lift that leg up with your back flat, shoulders down, pull it towards your belly. And then we'll come onto our back and stretch this leg. So feel free to bend and straighten the knee, or really trying to anchor our left leg on the ground, reaching through that left leg helps us stretch, right? So if you are somebody with tight hamstrings or whatever difficulties getting your leg straight, I really recommend using a strap or something that isn't flexible, so you can really, for stretching, so you can really get a good stretch. Band is harder to get a good stretch with, right? Okay, so we're moving our foot to pointing and flexing if you want as well, right? And then we'll get our leg as straight as we can, foot flexed, taking it slowly across the body, just until you find that stretch, you find your knee wants to start bending, and just stop and breathe. Maybe you can slowly take it a little farther. Try to keep your knees from bending. Just breathe. Such a good one. All right, and then we'll lift the leg, open it out, keep it high and straight as we open it out to the side. Good. And lift back up to the ceiling. And then gather up your band if you're using it, strap, whatever, grab your leg, lift your head and shoulders, and rock yourself up to sitting. Switch to the other leg, the left leg, and lift it up. You're going to pull your belly towards your thigh, flattening the back. Give it a stretch here. And then coming all the way down, trying to really get our right leg all the way on the ground as we stretch our left leg. And bend and straighten, or whatever feels good. You can move your foot, flex and point, and move the foot side to side, whatever your foot wants to do. And we're breathing. And then getting our leg as straight as we can with our foot flexed, taking it slowly across till we find that, oh yeah, there it is, point where you can just stop and breathe. Keeping the leg, fairly high as much as possible, and the knee straight is really where you're going to feel that stretch, right? So getting into our sacrum, good for our sacrum. IT band obviously is getting a good stretch. Okay, and then we'll lift up, open out to the side, keeping our right hip down. Stretching the inner thigh and leg muscles there. All right, and lifting back up to the top, we're going to gather up, lift our head and shoulders, pressing that leg down to help us gracefully rock ourselves up. And then if you are using strap or band, you can grab hold of your right leg, and then we're just going to roll back to our shoulder blades, ribcage shoulder blades, stretch this leg, and then slide your left foot along the mat, bring that leg up, and stretch your right leg down. Pull, bicycle, slow bicycle, draw this leg up as the other leg stretches down. Good. Slow bicycle stretch. So emphasize that stretch for a few, right? Getting the legs nice and stretched out. And then next time your legs are in the splits, hands behind the head to support ourselves. And we're going to continue our bicycle movement. Do the splits, and then that bottom knee bends to draw that leg up as the top leg goes down. Do the splits, right? Do the splits. You don't miss that. Try to get the legs totally straight. Do the splits as best as we can, and then we bend. Good, and breathe. And then whatever you come to your splits, you're going to reverse. Top knee bends, bottom leg comes up as that other leg slides down. Top knee bends, bottom leg comes up, right? And bicycling in reverse. Try to catch that split and then bend. You're going to feel this after a while. Feel the feelings. It's okay, right? And then just rest if you need to. Continue if you can. Try to relax the neck. Last one. Whatever leg is up, draw your other leg up. Relax down. Hug your knees. Did I say this was torture day? Okay. Not. Okay, if you're able to rock on your back or roll on your back, you can kind of curl into a ball, holding onto your legs wherever works for you, and just do a little rocking here, up and back. Yeah, you can hold under your thighs, it's easier. A little more challenge on your shins. A little rock, and then we'll eventually come up to sitting. You're feeling that now. All right. feeling the feelings. Okay, so we're going to come onto our side and pick a side in that half bend with the legs, diamond lamb, right? And the heels lining up with the tailbone, the knees are stacked. Good, and we're going to be above our elbow. So kind of lift that rib cage a little bit. You're going to keep your feet on the mat, but pressing your top heel into your bottom heel to open that leg, right? So let's bring our arm up and kind of lift our rib cage as we lift our arm and lift our knee and get that sense that you're lifting a little bit. And then as we close the knee, we're going to round through. Okay, good. Inhale, lift the arm, lift the knee. Exhale, rounding our rib cage, rotating around our spine, right? Inhale, lift, and exhale. Now, if you want to add a hip lift to that, you can lift the hips when you lift the arm and the knee. Optional. Lower the hip, close the knee, round through. Okay, so inhale, lift the hip is optional. Close, lower, round through. Good. Inhale, open and lift. Exhale, lower and close, round through. We're going to add another piece to that. Inhale, open as you lift. Now extend the leg. Your hip can be up or down. Bend the knee, and then lower, close, and round through. Keep going. Inhale, open and lift. Extend the leg, bend, close and lower, round through. We're getting the hang of this little circus act. Okay, inhale, open, lift, extend, bend. Coordination. Now we're going to stay open on this next one. If your hips are up, great. If they're not, great. You're going to extend the leg 5 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And now we can lower and round through. Good. And then go ahead and come up sitting with your legs, if you can, next to you like this. And take a little side stretch or whatever your legs need to do, but take a little side stretch. Sometimes it works. And then we're going to cross our top leg over the bottom leg, and your leg can be, bottom leg can be bent like this, or it can be straight, whatever works for you. And you can do something different than what I'm doing if you want for a hip stretch, but just kind of make sure you're pressing that hip down, lifting your knee so that you get a hip stretch if you're doing this. And then let's just kind of roll our shoulders a little bit, loosen them up as we get a little hip stretch. And then with your nose, you're going to draw a circle in front of you, just kind of moving the head and neck a little bit here. slow circle. And then reverse it. Like I said, if you want to do something different, you can as far as the hip stretch. Good. And then we're going to take a twist. So wrap your arm around that top leg, other hand behind us, lengthen and just take a little rotation here to the back. And breathe, hugging that knee in. All right, and then we'll come back around and uncross, and we'll come to our other side. So you'll be with that half bend in the knees, body in a straight line up on the elbow, and lifting the arm up, lifting the rib cage, kind of helps, right? And then pressing our top heel into our bottom heel to lift that leg, and then close and round through. So we're getting that rotation. Good. Inhale, lift, open, exhale, close, round through. Inhale, lift, open, exhale. Adding the hip lift if you want. You're going to, I don't know if I can on this side. If you can, add that hip lift as you open. Oh, yeah. And then lower, close, and round. Good. Inhale, lift, and lower, exhale, round. Good. So you're getting that rhythm or that coordination, right? And then lower, close, round through. And then we'll add the leg extension. So lift, hips may come up, extend the leg, bend, lower, close, round through. Too much for the morning? Inhale, open, lift, extend, bend, lower, round through. Keep going, open, lift, extend, bend, lower, round. And we'll stay up on this one. Good. And 5 kicks. Oh, your hips might be down. I need to go down. 3, 4, 5, and lower that leg, hips rounding through. Great. And then we'll come up to sitting. Maybe your legs next to you, fold it like that, or whatever works for you to take a little side stretch here. And then to do a hip stretch, if you want to cross that top leg over, you might have your bottom leg bent under you or straight out in front, kind of pressing our hip into the mat, lifting our spine, hugging our knee in, roll the shoulders or kind of give them a little movement here. I just find it to be up on our elbow like that, we need to move our head and neck, right? Shoulders and all that business. So circle the head just by kind of a slow circle. And the other way. And then we'll take a twist with this if you want to hug that knee in and lengthen the spine, spiral back. And then coming back around to forward, we can uncross and bring ourselves onto our all fours. And as I mentioned before about having blocks, if you want to use them, because we will eventually need them for a lunge, if you want them, you can just kind of have them near the top of your mat, right? So Starting with our hands spread nice and fingers spread nice and wide, we're going to move the spine by curling the tailbone under and letting our back round and maybe press back towards your heels. Feel a little stretch in the shoulders and lift up, and then coming into an arch. And then curl and round and back. Lift up and arch. Good, and breathe. And then next time you come up, arching, just bring yourself to neutral and circle your hips around in a nice big circle, like a hula hoop, right? Hula hoop the hips. Letting everything kind of spiral around wherever it will. And the other direction. Good. And then coming to center. Good. Always feels good in the hips. So your fingers spread wide, feeling stable on your all fours. See if you can just float your left hand about an inch off the ground and your right knee about an inch off the ground. So just barely off the ground and hover and breathe. You feel all your little muscles helping to balance and stabilize. And then lower and float your right hand about an inch and your left knee about an inch. Just feeling a little stability challenge. And lower. Okay. And then whatever leg is to the back of the screen, not your front leg, but your back leg, straighten that leg behind you, touching your toes down. And whatever arm is to the front of facing the screen, put your hand on your heart and open to the ceiling. So we're going to just do a little twist open here. And then extend the arm. Okay. Then we're going to take that arm overhead and lift the back leg, lift and reach. And exhaling back to the mat. Whatever leg is forward of the screen, you're going to straighten that leg back, toes touching. Other hand to the heart and open to toward the ceiling, opening. And let the arm extend. And that arm is going to come forward. We're going to lift our leg and reach and lift. And exhale gracefully down. You might stretch back off your hands for a moment if that feels good to you. Coming back to the heels. Okay. And then we'll come up and bring, if you're using blocks, otherwise hands will be on the mat. Bring your hands onto the blocks or the mat. Bring your right foot forward between your hands. Stretch your left leg back. Now you can be in a lifted lunge or you can have your knee on the ground. Whatever you like to do here, whatever works for you. Yeah. Just getting a stretch through our hip flexors, right? Like I said, you can keep your knee up for a while and then let it come down. Yes, if you can't be on your knees, yeah, coming onto your back and doing a lunge on your back with a strap or a band would be the next best thing to do. The modification, the alternative, right, on your back. Okay, and just breathe here. All right, and then we're going to, whether your knee is up or down, whatever you can do, bring your right leg back and come into a plank. You can do a half plank, or you can do whatever works for you here. And then bringing our knees down, bringing our left foot forward between our hands, between the blocks, finding that lunge on that side. Either knee up or knee down. Oh, and also making sure that our legs are in line with our hips and not with each other, right? Whenever you're lunging, you want your legs to be in line with your hip socket, not with each other in a straight line. Okay, and just breathing, letting that stretch happen. Such an active hip flexor stretch, right? So it doesn't take long, but it sure is beneficial. You could also do it sitting on a chair. You know, that's another option. You can sit on a chair sideways and do a chair lunge. This is too much. All right, and then let's take that leg back. Come into a plank or a half plank one more time, and just taking a couple breaths here. You can also be on your forearms if you prefer as well, right? Forearms on the block, forearms on the floor. And then go ahead and come to our knees. And if you're using blocks, you can move them off to the side. We'll come onto our belly now. Oh, and if you want something under your chest, a little bolstering under your chest, you know, a pillow or something, grab that or have it handy, whatever. And just coming onto the elbows to start with, letting the pelvis relax. A nice way to stretch the front of our belly or so. And really pressing our arms into the ground, lifting up. We're going to straighten our arms slowly and kind of get a little bit more stretch by adjust your hands if you need to. Feeling that stretch in the belly, in the front of the hips. All right, and then lower the elbows down. And if you need a pillow under your chest, we're going to bring ourselves into whatever version of cobra or swan, right? So like mine isn't very high. Some people can go all the way up like that, right? Or straighten your arms and really lift. I'm getting better, but what we're going to do is we're going to do that with our think of a spine, upper body bridge or an upper body flexion of the spine. So you're going to start with the hands down, let your head drop and relax. And then you're going to press into your hands to lift yourself up, and then lift your head and look up. And then as if you were articulating your spine, back down, come down, and then let your head drop and press into your arms with your head relaxing. And then the head's going to come up, look up. It's a snaking motion of our spine, right? And then lower back down, and then let your head drop and pressing up. And then the head unfurls and looks up. And then you, one bone at a time, back down. So again, let the head drop, press up, keep going. Should feel good in your neck, hopefully. Lift up in your upper back and then lower down. Good, and then stay here. Draw your elbows into your waist with your hands close by your side shoulder area, right? Good. And then you're just going to press yourself head and shoulders up, float your arms off the ground, and then we're going to open our legs as wide as we can here, and then reach overhead and squeeze our legs together. Good. So inhale, and then as we exhale, pull the elbows down, open the legs apart, and then as we reach overhead, squeeze the legs together. Good. Pull the elbows and lift up as you open. Exhale, reach and squeeze. Good. Nice deep breath. Pull elbows in, open the legs, reach overhead, squeeze. Keep going, open and pull in and lift. Arms stay off the ground. We're hovering. Good. Inhale and reach. Next time you pull your elbows in, go ahead and relax down. Relax everything. And then we'll come onto our knees to stretch our back. So just bring yourself up. Or if you need to be on your back, just stretch your knees, of course. A child's pose stretch here. You might like your knees open. A good hip opening stretch here. Then we'll come up to sitting. Bring your something to sit on if you need it. You can sit on the block. And bring your legs into a straddle with the knees a little bit bent. Hands behind the legs, lifting the spine, and just pulling our torso toward the ground here. So stretching your hip, low back. Okay, and then lifting up, straightening the legs, or they might need to stay a little bent, or you might sit on something. Good. So we have a little bit of a straddle, arms out. Good. So we're going to lift tall on our inhale, anchor the hips as you rotate and reach for your opposite foot. Maybe you press yourself forward with your back hand, lift up, nice and tall. Exhale over. Anchoring those hips. Good. Lifting up, nice and tall. Rotate and reach. Good. Nice and tall. Shoulders relaxed. The hips aren't moving. Keep going. And then when you come up on this one, we're going to inhale and rotate, and your backhand is going to go down. Whoops, things are in my way. Your backhand behind you, and you're going to maybe even come down to your elbow if you want, but stretch back away from that leg, right? And then lift back up, center, inhale, exhale, come to the other side, leaning into that stretch and lifting up. Two more if you want, or if you're able to, you might lift your hips off the ground. Come into that stretch, right? Or not. And inhale, exhale over. Good. And coming back down. And then two more regular forward saws, or a couple more reaching across forward. So we get a nice stretch to our shoulders and our hips. Great. And then whenever you're even on both sides, you can come to center, float your arms down, give your arms shoulders a little shake. Great. Thank you all for coming. I'm going to hit the button here. There we go.